Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister here with another episode of Cycle with Max, where today I'm going to review the Wahoo Kickr Headwind fan. Now, in other videos I've talked about things you want to do and have to set up your Zwifting station. You know, right after a bicycle and a smart trainer, you have to have a fan. So obviously riding indoors, you're not moving in reality, and so therefore there is no wind passing over you. You will become so hot that you won't continue to do this. You wouldn't even ride indoors because you'll just burn up and sweat to death and make a big mess. Now, obviously, sweating is some part of exercise on a lot of levels, but you want to avoid it as much as possible, particularly indoor training, because your salt in your sweat is going to drip down all over your bike. It'll soak into your handlebar tape, corrode your handlebars. It can corrode your drivetrain. It can damage the finish on your bike. So as much as you can control the salty sweat coming out of your body and pouring all over your equipment, that's beneficial. And never mind having a big sloppy mess on the floor, being all gooey and uncomfortable while you're trying to ride. So staying cool and dry makes it a much more pleasant experience. So, a fan. Now, what do you need? You need a serious fan. So a little like desktop thing that might put a little cool breeze over you, that's never going to do anything, so forget that. The old school box fan, will work okay, but it's really not going to generate the kind of wind force and volume you need to really cool you when you're working hard, like climbing big mountains, or you're really working hard in a big group, or trying to hold your fastest pace or do an FTP test, this kind of stuff. So the most common type of fan that will do that, people have different slang names for it, but a squirrel cage is one. Basically, you're looking for a fan that has a drum in it with lots of blades. That drum turns over very quickly, and it moves huge CFMs of air, cubic feet per minute of air, and puts out tons of force, and you can quite typically aim it where you want it to go. So this would be an example of a common fan. You might see them like if you need to dry your basement out, or you move a ton of air in a hot environment. This is the ticket. So these things are very, very powerful. Now, so let's talk about the Kickr Headwind fan. By the way, those fans you can find from $70 up to, the sky's the limit if you're a professional using them for various, contracting jobs and keeping dust down while you're working in houses, and paint, fumes, these kind of things. So here's the Wahoo Kickr Headwind fan. And now it has three modes, we're going to call it, two which are unique to indoor cycling. The first mode is you just turn it on like any other fan in the world, and it has 4 speeds you adjust by pushing these arrows left and right. So on the high setting, it's blowing hard. It's very much like a 20-mile-an-hour wind while you're riding down the road. All right. Now, past that, the gimmick that sells the fan is that they have set it up so that it will pair to Wahoo Kickr trainers via Bluetooth, and then the speed that the trainer perceives it's going is relayed into the fan, and the fan will blow harder the faster you theoretically move down the virtual road. So this is cool. You try it, you put it on, you go, well, I'm pedaling slow, and there it is, it's just a little breeze, and now I'm pedaling fast, and look how fast it's blowing. You go, oh, that's cool. And the concept is, the closer you can make indoor cycling to reality, the more immersive it is, the funner the experience is, and the more you want to try and do it. So that's a cool feature. But the truth is, reality kind of sucks for that, and you wish you could tweak reality. So in the reality, in other words, let's talk about a mountain. While you grind away up a mountain for an hour, and very slow speed with no wind passing over you, you're working very hard, your heart rate's high, and you're like on fire, sweating like a hog. And then you get to the top, you crest the top and start down, and now you're going into the wind, and you have an enormous amount of wind, you're soaking wet, and now you're freezing cold. You really wish it could be just the opposite. you'd love to have a ton of wind blowing on you while you're going 5 miles an hour up the hill, working your ass off. And then you would like it to blow on you 5 miles an hour while you're actually going 40 miles an hour down the hill so that you don't freeze from being soaked with sweat and now you're not working. So enter the third mode, which is Bluetooth heart rate pairing. So just using any common Bluetooth transmitting heart rate monitor, you can pair the Kickr Headwind to your heart rate monitor, and then it will blow on you based on how hard you're working. So in both the speed modes and the heart rate modes, the game kind of will correlate the 4 fan speeds based on what you're doing. Now, in the case of the heart rate, you can go into the Wahoo utility, pair the fan to the utility, update firmware and things like that. But the key thing in there is you set the heart rate, minimum heart rate where the fan will turn on, and then the maximum heart rate where it goes to full tilt. Now you can choose anything you want. So I use 150 on mine. So at 150 it's blowing full hard, even though my max heart rate's 190. So I want a big range there where it's blowing full tilt, because by the time I'm at 150, I'm working pretty hard anyway, and I'm likely to be pretty hot indoors. Now, so once you use the heart rate based feature, it's the opposite of reality, but it's exactly what you want while riding a bicycle indoors. So it makes everything else kind of obsolete, and it works super cool. I love that feature. Now, there is no other product fan available that does this that I know of at this point. If you know of one, please comment below, but I don't know of one. Now, this fan is expensive. This is $250. And I have these fans on our stations. We use them because of that one single feature. We like them, right? And so that gets it gets the thumbs up for that. Other than that, there's not much else I like about this fan. It's really terribly designed, poorly thought out, and executed just terribly. So what would be the first thing you'd think you'd want to do once you put your fan down and turned it on? You'd probably want to aim it at you, right? So that it's pointing at you, and whether you're 5'2" or 6'4", you might want to aim the fan at you. This fan has absolutely no provision whatsoever to be aimed. It's completely, totally stupid. It does have this setup here where you pop this leg out, and if you put it on the ground, except now it's even more level, and I guess if you wanted to blow it on, you wanted your ankles blown on by a $250 fan, this would probably be okay, but other than that, it's pretty stupid. You're going to need the fan to point upwards to blow at the rider. If you fold this up, they have a set of wheels on it. This is really kind of ridiculous too. The intention they've got is for you to hang the fan over the Wahoo Kickr, over the Wahoo desk. So if you look on kind of their marketing related stuff, you'll see this guy here has the fan just hanging over this desk, and then I guess if you want to slide the desk around, the fan will slide with it. But the truth is, that's just a joke. It's kind of hokey. If you didn't have wheels, it would still move. It would still just move. Now, the next problem is so, of course, in Wahoo's world, everybody has a 5,000 square foot home gym with, an available 1,500 square feet to set up your, 6.5 foot long Kickr mat, your trainer, your headwind, your desk, and everything. And so in the one single instance where you are a rider who never ever stands up, never sits up, never sprints, never stands to climb, if you're, I guess, a triathlete rider and you sit on your aero bars and ride for 4 hours or whatever, this fan might actually blow on you if you have about 10 linear feet to set this up the way they've got it. Okay? Most people don't have that kind of space. I have a lot of space, and I don't have that kind of space. So I need a space to walk behind my rigs, and here's my space here. So I can't put my fan out here because it really won't blow on me, so rendering it somewhat obsolete. So I want to put it up inside of the desk, but now look where it's aimed. It's blowing right out the Kickr climb. So here's my view from the cockpit. I get nothing on me. It just blows, blows into the bike and the head. So it really needs a way to elevate it to different angles. So big, huge F minus for that. So let me put this back down here. So for comparison, I want to show you a $69 Lasco fan. See that, Wahoo? $69. Infinitely adjustable for any rider, any height, any location, fore and aft. This will do a perfect job. Now, so what else comes on your $69 fan that might be helpful to someone with an indoor cycling rig? What is that? Outlets? Amazing. What technological genius put a pair of outlets on a fan? Well, pretty much anybody using a fan is probably doing some other job and would like to plug in a power tool or something like that. So when I come to my Wahoo fan, for 250 bucks, there's nothing, but I can plug the Wahoo fan into the Lasco fan, and now my Wahoo fan will work nicely. Now, why would I want a couple of outlets on this fan in a cycling environment? Okay, I have a laptop, or a powered device that I'm literally exercising with on my desk. That needs to be plugged in constantly, or else it'll die while it's in use. So if you're trying to play Zwift with a laptop, and you want to ride more than an hour, it'll kill your computer in an hour. So you have to have your computer plugged in. You might want to pretend you bought a Wahoo Climb and wanted to plug it in somewhere. Geez, wouldn't it be nice if you had a place to plug in the Wahoo Climb so that you didn't have to run multiple cords off into a plug strip and around the house? So if you had a fan that just like this Lasco one, you can run one cord to wherever you plug in and plug all kinds of accessories, several accessories right into it, and keep your station nice and clean and keep your cords to a minimum. So for lack of angle adjustability, huge F minus, a simple accessory like being able to plug into it wouldn't cost them anything to add that feature. Basically, they should have just started with this and added the Bluetooth connectability to it, and they would have had the ultimate badass fan. So, like I said, I have them. I use them because of the single Bluetooth heart rate monitor feature. That's what I ride with when I'm using Zwift. But I'd be hard pressed to send my friends out and tell them to spend 250 bucks on this fan when I can, buy this Lasco one. The problem with having a fan that's down on the floor is if you want to change the speed, you really can't stop and get off and change the speed if you're riding in a group, because your group will be gone before you get back to them. It's very, very hard to chase back on. And the other advantage the Wahoo fan has over a commercially available fan is on the 4 speeds, the lowest speed on the Wahoo fan is really nice. It's a very, like a gentle breeze. So if you're just spinning your legs out, recovery day, doing base miles, you don't need a 20-mile-an-hour wind like drying your eye sockets out and dehydrating you. A gentle breeze is fine. And even though like the Lasco fan has 3 speeds, it's kind of like, hurricane, tropical storm, and thunderstorm. It's not enough spread really for it to be perfect for an indoor cycling environment. So the Wahoo fan gets a positive grade on that because its 4 speeds are 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, 20 miles, 15 miles an hour, and 25 miles an hour, whatever, break it up in there. But they do give you a nice spread of sensation over the range. So, well, that's my review of the Wahoo Kickr Headwind fan. If you found this information useful, please like it and share with your friends who are thinking about these purchases to help them make informed decisions. My name's Max. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep this cool content coming.